Now, most of the former president's thoughts on undocumented immigrants are well known, including that many are rapists, killers, and the like. Today, though, that kind of thinking crossed streams, as it were, with another of his well-known beliefs, namely in genetics and breeding. Here's what he told Hugh Hewitt today in the middle of talking about murderous migrants.
You know, now a murderer, I believe this, it's in their genes. And we got a lot of bad genes in our country right now.
No word on if he's projecting here.
He also said falsely that Vice President Harris was, quote, allowing people to come through an open border, 13,000 of which were murderers. That number, in fact, comes from figures which are not specifically about people who entered the country during the Biden-Harris administration. They cover any administration going back decades. In addition, that number, he includes, cites people who are in jail or prison for their crimes currently or who have served their times for crimes.
Shocking. A liar lies. His obsession, however,
said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird. Stop
You know
it.
what? You are sick.
when it's not on his daughter.
Still, Donald Trump repeatedly points out how hot his daughter is, saying last year in a Rolling Stone article, "Yeah, she's really something, and what a beauty, that one. If I weren't happily married and, you know, her father."
Ivanka Trump.
You have good genes. A lot of it's about the genes, isn't it? Don't you believe? The racehorse theory, you think we're so different? You have good genes in Minnesota.
A weird comment from an oddball, a racist oddball at that. This piggybacks off of,
If I have to,
But it
if
wasn't
I have
just a
to
meme,
create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do.
Trump running mate J.D. Vance appearing to admit the fabrication of the story. Reuters noted he keeps doing this over and over and over again when the studies show immigrants don't commit crime at a higher rate than native-born Americans. I find it ironic he does this, though.
Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay?
During the 2020 summer protests, according to former Defense Secretary Mark Esper, Trump wanted the military to shoot protesters.
The president's tweet, I think we need to deal with it. He tweeted just a short time ago, "These thugs," that is a loaded word in the United States, "are dishonouring the memory of George Floyd, and I won't let that happen. Just spoke to Governor Tim Walz, told him the military is with him. Any difficulty, we will assume control." And then again, an extraordinary line, "When the looting starts, the shooting starts."
He would praise a Republican congressman for assaulting a member of the press.
Willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name.
supremacists and
Who would
right
you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
Who could forget during COVID, he would tweet that Virginians are under siege, his words, and that his side should liberate amidst the pandemic. He advocated for shooting migrants. That's via the New York Times. In addition, he wanted, and this is from their piece, a border wall with a water-filled trench stocked with snakes or alligators. Remember that? That was crazy. He demanded it be electrified, accompanied with spikes on top that could pierce human flesh. This is the same man who said he intends to use the military to round up his political foes and has spewed violent rhetoric that, per an ABC News investigation back in 2020, so it's almost outdated at this point, found 54 cases of Trump supporters spewing their favorite politician's last name amidst their respective attacks. But, you know, migrants are the problem here. Sally Jenkins, a sports writer for the Washington Post, would put it all in perspective. More than 7% of the athletes on Team USA at the Paris Olympics were the children of immigrants. Among them, 2020 gold medalist Suni Lee. Another name, Gabby Thomas. Pro golfer Xander Schauffele. Another gold medalist, of course, Diana freaking Taurasi. One of the greatest guards, not just in WNBA history, but basketball history. And that's just naming a few. She would tell the story of Andre Agassi. The American champion is a son of illegal immigrants. An illegal immigrant, named Emmanuel, his father, who grew up in Iran. Sorry, there's something in my eye. Who grew up in Iran in a one-room dirt floor place and found a way to Ellis Island, rode a bus to Chicago, and the rest is history. She names Pete Sampras, whose mother is from Sparta, Greece. And the family lineage includes Poland, the approved country, though, for Donald Trump. Jessica Pegula, the daughter of Kim Pegula, who is from South Korea. Francis Tiafo, a man with the infectious smile, is the son of 2 immigrants who hail from Sierra Leone. Trump's target of Haiti, though, and an attempt to peddle in great replacement theory, is also putting a target on the backs of, say, Josie Altidore, who represented the United States national team in the World Cup, played in England, played in the Netherlands, and played for the Red Bulls. An ex-favorite of Peyton Manning with the Indianapolis Colts, Pierre Garçon. And that's just naming a few, of course. From Jenkins to Rossi, whose Argentine mother waitress part-time at a Sizzler in Chino, California, to help support her family, has written eloquently about the duality of the immigrant kids' American experience. She suggests why it might actually breed an inordinate number of great champions. It has something to do with the insider's feeling of opportunity, but the outsider's understanding of privilege, she would write in the Players Tribune. Jenkins would conclude it's not a bad theory, and it's a lot better than Trump's junk genetic analysis. If you're looking for aspiration and work ethic, take the first or second generation Americans every time. It's a great piece. I don't understand his reasoning for a lot of this. Oh, I'm sorry. I understand his reasoning. It's completely ill-founded. But I don't understand why it just attaches to the masses on that side. It is an exclusionary act. But what gets me is this is a man who says, they're violent. And there are many examples that we didn't even get to that show how, and I do believe this, that it is a form of projection when he says that. Because the examples are endless of the violent rhetoric, the tone, the disparaging remarks, and how it leads to political violence from the former commander-in-chief. It's shameful. The second, and by the way, only one side is also sending pipe bombs. But the other part of this that is really just so hypocritical is they bank on, family laurels, the nuclear family, and hand in hand being pro-life. How could one align, if you are those things, with a man who in his final days carried out mass executions of people on death row? How could you align with a man like that who has had 3 different wives? How could you align with a man like that who wants to shoot protesters? Who wants to have devices that could pierce the skin if you are an immigrant? That is not pro-life. It is pro-hate. And until one side of the aisle does have this reckoning, it's just going to continue.